All right, welcome to. I just wanted to start off the video as saying thank you for 1,000 subscribers and all the support. Uh, I really do appreciate that. I'll be doing longer videos whenever I get the chance or when I get time. Uh, but with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put that out of the way and say this is my NES 101 control deck, aka nicknamed the top loader, as you'll see when I put this game in it, or you can probably already tell. And oh boy, people did not like me calling this the definitive version of it in a short. I only said that because because they'll play your games every single time. Sure, this one does have its problems, it has its issues, but it will play the games every time, the, unlike the normal one. I've heard it be called the toaster. I can't remember what it's called. I don't know why I've heard it called the toaster or why I've always called it that, but that's what I've called it. Despite it looking nothing like a toaster, but because you put in the games this way and you put it down while it bend the pins on the inside of the system, causing the games not to want to read and all sorts of fun things. Now, forgive mine for being a little dirty. This was given to me for free. I think it works. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it does. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. But the reason people were getting mad at me is, I'm guessing, because that right there, it's only got an AV or RF or AF output with your AC adapter. So when the image is put into the TV, it'll come out a little washed out, but I'd be more than willing. But another thing about it is, this one right here will play everything. It's not region locked. This is not a region locked system because it's lacking the chip. So it'll play unlicensed games. It'll play European games. It'll play Japanese games. Most importantly, Japanese games, because you could put Famicom games in here. You could put Famicom games in here. I don't know why I decided to put the game in there again. And this particular one is a little bit more rare because they only made this model for about a year. I believe it was 1990, but don't quote me on that. I can't remember for sure what year they made this, but it was only for about a year. It was budgeted as more as a budget option, cheaper one. It came with this. I don't think it ever came with a game and a controller. Now, people do say the controllers that came with this were the best ones, because they're nicknamed the dog bone, as you will see. I'm pulling another box I keep it in. And let me unravel it. You can already kind of tell why they call it the dog bone. Sorry about the camera getting real shaky real fast. Right here, the dog bone controller. People call it the dog bone because, well, it looks like a dog bone. And people will swear by this controller when they play old NESs. And I can see why. They say it's the best one. Because the old one, if I had another one to compare it with, is squared. Obviously, everyone knows what the iconic NES controller looks like. It's probably the most iconic it's probably the most iconic controller ever. Well, it would cut into your hands after long play sessions. Really, it doesn't bother me because I don't ever play this thing more than maybe 20-30 minutes at a time. The games are fun, but whenever I get the chance to. But this was way before my time, so I really don't have any nostalgia for it. I just play them because they're pretty decent to pick up and play. But yeah, it's a really comfortable controller, and that isn't going to hurt your hands. But as you can see, it is for it's a NES controller, 1993. Oh, hold on. Focus. Oh. Yeah, 1993. So this was on sale for 93 then. Very end of the lifespan of the NES, and it is significantly smaller than the original. As you can see, this is the NES right here. That's a cartridge with it. Comparing it standing up to a cartridge. Yeah, it's almost the size of a cartridge. It's also less thick, although it's kind of ugly. I mean, sure, the original NES wasn't much of a looker either, but it looks better than this one in my opinion, because it looked more like an old retro appliance. This looks honestly more like a toy, truthfully, because of the slopes. I mean, it's a game console still, but it does look more like a toy. Of course, you have Nintendo right there, the classic iconic logo. No, Mario. No, don't fall over. And as you can see right there, NES control deck, model number NES 101, made in Japan. It's a US Canadian, 1993. Yep. It's made for 93 then. Okay. Sorry, my chair's squeaking. It's terrible. It's a garbage chair. But yeah, and like I said before, these will play pretty much anything you want because it's missing a chip. And it'll play it first time every time. Mine's a little dirty. Again, I'm pretty sure this one works, but it's a little dirty. I need to clean it. I need to get some plastic correction, get all the dust that's into the plastic now. And it'll work with all your light gun games and everything. Now, if I had the cords, which I don't have anymore, so I hadn't been able to play it in a while, I'd plug it up to that CRT over there and show you it powered on, but it doesn't really have a special boot or anything, obviously. This is way before any of that. I mean, obviously it wouldn't have any of that. It'd just go straight into the game. But I'd show you what I'm talking about it being a little washed out. That's what people say, at least. Now, there was a very rare option of this. It wasn't really an option. You couldn't get it in stores. Enough people complained about it to Nintendo, and they made they replaced this, and they put a better output cable back here. Now, you had to tell Nintendo that, and I think you had to pay them or something, and you'd ship it back to Nintendo, and they would make you a new one, or they'd put a new one back there. They'd cut it out and make a new one, and all that fun stuff. Now, those don't have a washed out picture, and those probably are the best way to play NES games, unless you have one of those, newer, higher end, like, retro systems, because those will output to a normal TV and stuff like that, where you don't have to worry about having a great big CRT, and you could just leave this as a collector's item on the shelf. Personally, I like playing my old systems. I like keeping them around and using them for their intended purpose. All of my systems do get play out of them, more some than others, but I do use them. But I could see where people would come from with that. But yeah, just a neat little system, neat little part of my collection. I figured I'd show off these things. Now, I'm no expert on the price of these, but if you want to look for one, you're looking for one. All I did was I did a quick eBay search, so I'm no expert, so take what I say with a grain of salt. They looked like they were I was looking at the ones with bids on them, about $250, $300. Normally they're modded to where they have the better output. Because again, you can play Famicom games on Famicom and normal games on here. So, yeah. Anyway, I guess with that, I'm going to go ahead and say, if you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching. And if you want to support the channel, like most of you have been, thank you for watching, by the way. I really do appreciate all the support. And, yeah, best way to do it is to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. Also, I have a second channel called Trailer Park Supercars. It's a car channel. If you like cars and you want to go check it out, I'll put the link in the description in it. And, yeah, but with that, I'm going to go ahead and end it, and you have a good one.